9:30 here in New York, yet another twist in the Trayvon Martin matter. We're expecting prosecutors to announce movement on that case within days. And now we're learning, according to Zimmerman's attorneys, they don't even know where he is.
We want to announce today, as of now, we are withdrawing as counsel for Mr. Zimmerman. We've lost contact with him. Up to this point, we've had contact every day. He's gone on his own. I'm not sure what he's doing or who he's talking to, but at this point, we're withdrawing as counsel. If he wants us to come back as counsel, he will contact us.
Well, Zimmerman may not be calling his attorneys, but he is making some phone calls. Speaking with our own Sean Hannity, Sean addressed that last night on his show this way.
For a few weeks, we have been pursuing an interview with Mr. Zimmerman to give him a chance to tell his side of the story. Now, yesterday, I was contacted by an individual that we, in fact, believe was George Zimmerman. He reached out to me. We spoke on the phone about his case, and I agreed not to report on the contents of that conversation. That's it. I know nothing about his relationship with his now former attorneys.
All right, that from last night. Now this morning, Phil Keating's live in Sanford, Florida. Phil, good morning there. Good morning, Bill. According to one of George Zimmerman's neighbors telling Fox News Orlando, they say he spoke with Zimmerman on Monday. But according to the now former attorneys for George Zimmerman, he's not answering the phone when they call. He's not returning their voicemails. But in perhaps the most bizarre of all of these extraordinary developments yesterday, George Zimmerman apparently did make one very important phone call yesterday, and that was to Jacksonville, directly to the special prosecutor's office, wanting to speak with the woman who is currently deciding whether to criminally charge him in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. And even though the attorneys are now off this case, no longer representing Zimmerman, they insist he acted in self-defense.
What becomes important is the moment in time when somebody confronted somebody, and the first person went from sticks and stones to break my bones. Words can never hurt me. The first person that swung, as far as we can tell, was Trayvon Martin. That's what changed the character of this entire situation from one of what might have been an unfortunate misunderstanding into a crime. And the crime was battery against George Zimmerman.
And according to the former attorneys, they say all of the evidence and testimony from witnesses will support these facts. They say that Zimmerman will have grass stains on the backs of his clothing. They say the medical records will show he had a broken nose, lacerations on the back of his head. And even when I spoke with Trayvon Martin's parents yesterday, they concede perhaps only two people know exactly what transpired from the very beginning to the very end. And today, only one of those two people are alive. Bill, what about his parents, Trayvon Martin's parents? Reaction from them is what, Bill? Very disturbed by these developments last night. They really fear that if the special prosecutor decides to file some sort of criminal charge against George Zimmerman, that he won't be found, that they think he's a flight risk. However, just like everyone else around the country, they are waiting on that special prosecutor's decision. And until then, well, nothing is normal.
We're on pins and needles, but we're waiting patiently. We're hopeful that we'll get a call very soon that she will meet with us and tell us what her decision is. So we really don't know. We are being patient, and we are saying prayer.
So according to the special prosecutor's directives last night, either today, tomorrow, or Friday, the media will get a 3-hour notice as to when and where this news conference is going to take place. It'll be either in Jacksonville or here in Sanford, Florida, and then the media will have 1 hour to get the trucks all set up, and then, of course, the nation will watch her news conference explaining the charge or no charge decision.
Pete Williams is standing by, I believe, with the, do we have Pete there? Do our Pete, what's the latest here?
Well, we're told by a law enforcement official that Georgia prosecutor has decided to pursue criminal charges against George Zimmerman for the shooting of Trayvon Martin, and that it will be announced this afternoon, sometime quite late this afternoon. We don't know what precise form the charges will take, but this comes after the prosecutor had already indicated that she would be making a statement sometime within the next day or so, and we were in that time frame that she originally announced would be the period during which she would make some announcement. Of course, she had a considerable gamut of choices between filing no charges at all or against the charges could take the form, and I don't know what they're going to be, but obviously you have to assume that they would take a form of, it could be as simple as assault. It could be some charge related directly to the killing, manslaughter, negligent homicide. There are a number of choices that the prosecutor has. Now, we know one, of course, the prosecutor doesn't have. Because she's chosen not to use a grand jury, she can't bring first-degree murder charges, because under the Florida Constitution, someone can be charged with first-degree murder only if they are first indicted by a grand jury. Now, you know, it's always possible that further down the road, a grand jury could be impaneled and other charges could be pursued. But for now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let us simply say that what we now know, or what we have now been told by law enforcement official, is that the Florida prosecutor will announce today that authorities there are going to pursue some kind of criminal charges against George Zimmerman for the Trayvon Martin case.